Welcome back to the deep dive, where we try to cut through the noise and get you genuinely well-informed fast. Today, we're plunging into, well, a domain that feels less like just competition and maybe more like a pivotal clash, one that's really defining our digital future, the AI world right now. It's not just evolving, it feels like a full-blown battlefield. We're talking, of course, about what a lot of people are calling the AI war, Google versus OpenAI. For this deep dive, we've pulled insights from a pretty rich stack of sources, articles, research, expert analyses, all trying to make sense of this escalating rivalry. Our mission, simple, really, to unpack the major players, the combatants, you could say, analyze their, well, formidable arsenals and strategies, understand the very real battlefield they're fighting on, and maybe, most crucially, figure out what this all means for you, the person actually using these transformative technologies day in, day out. Okay, so let's unpack this. Imagine like two titans squaring off. On one side, you've got Google, the long-reigning digital empire, right? A name basically synonymous with how we navigate the internet. And then on the other side, there's OpenAI, the agile insurgent, the startup that just absolutely shattered expectations and, ignited this whole new era of AI. It's a classic kind of story, but this time it's with algorithms, those, step-by-step instructions, powering intelligent systems and neural networks. There's really intricate, brain-inspired computing structures that help AI learn and adapt. Google's power isn't just immense, it's deeply embedded. I mean, think about it. Billions of daily users across its vast ecosystem. We're talking about products you probably use without even a second thought. Google Search, obviously, Gmail, YouTube, Maps. This isn't just some tech company. It's practically the internet's central nervous system for most of us. And their AI brainchild, Gemini, it's designed as their direct, powerful weapon to counter ChatGPT. Google's strategy seems crystal clear, as our sources highlight. They're explicitly trying to integrate AI into, and this is their phrase, every product we use. This isn't just some side project. It's absolutely core to their survival and, frankly, their future dominance. And we're already seeing it, right? I mean, think about Gmail that can practically draft your emails now, or Docs that can summarize entire documents in, seconds, or Search that promises to move beyond just listing links to giving you instant synthesized answers. It's a complete reimagining of their core stuff.
What's truly fascinating here, and, what our sources really emphasize, is how Google, despite being this established empire, is adapting with incredible speed. For a company that big, innovation can sometimes be, well, glacial. But the emergence of OpenAI has clearly lit a fire under them. They're not just tweaking things. They're fundamentally re-architecting how their core products function with AI right at the absolute center. The insight here isn't just that they have data, but how Google's access to proprietary real-world interaction data. Think about your actual search queries, right? Your email compositions, map routes. That gives Gemini a distinct, almost you could say, irreplicable advantage in understanding user intent across different ways we interact with tech. OpenAI, which largely relies on public web data, has to work, well, much harder to simulate that depth of real-world context.
That's a really commanding view of Google's strengths and its big push.
Okay.
But to get the full picture of the conflict, we absolutely have to look at their formidable challenger. So what defines OpenAI's approach and its unexpected, almost meteoric rise? They might not own YouTube or Gmail, sure. They don't have that traditional product breadth. But their defining characteristic, their undeniable superpower, seems to be innovation speed. It's truly remarkable, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
Just think about ChatGPT's explosive growth. It became like the fastest growing app in history. That's not a small thing. Their core focus, laid out in our sources, is clear and incredibly ambitious, building super intelligent AI, or AGI, artificial general intelligence. And a really crucial factor in their climb has been their strategic partnership with Microsoft. This isn't just some minor collaboration. It gives them immense power through Microsoft's Bing search engine, its, well, ubiquitous Office suite, and its Azure cloud platform. So while they might be a startup in spirit, let's say, they have a corporate giant amplifying their reach, literally integrating AI that works just like ChatGPT inside familiar tools like Word and PowerPoint.
And this is where the story gets incredibly complex. It's not quite a lone startup against an empire in that classic David versus Goliath way. Because like you said, OpenAI has Microsoft's full weight amplifying its disruptive force. Our sources really highlight that Microsoft isn't just an investor, they're deeply intertwined. They provide a distribution channel and cloud infrastructure that, well, most startups could only dream of. But this relentless speed, which is OpenAI's superpower, it also raises interesting questions that some analysts and our sources are asking. Questions like, is that rapid pace sustainable in the long run? And does it maybe come with potential trade-offs, like regarding the more rigorous safety and ethical considerations? Considerations that a giant like Google, with its long history of global user interaction and, frankly, regulatory scrutiny, is almost forced to prioritize. It's a real dynamic tension there.
That's a fascinating distinction. Okay, so here's where it gets really interesting, I think. We have these two, well, colossal entities, right? Each armed with unique strengths, unique challenges. What specific advantages does each side truly bring to this high-stakes battle, and what are they really fighting for beyond just, market share? Feels like something much bigger is actually at stake here. Let's maybe summarize Google's arsenal first, just as our sources lay it out. They possess, as we touched on, unparalleled data. Billions of users interacting constantly generate this unimaginable continuous stream of information. That's the fuel for AI training.
Right, the raw material.
Exactly. And it's not just data, it's contextual data from how people actually live their digital lives. They have a massive, you could say, captive user base, people already integrated into their ecosystem. They'll likely adopt new Google AI features almost by default, just because of existing habits.
Inertia is powerful.
Totally. And of course, deep pockets. We're talking vast financial resources. That lets them invest in research, infrastructure, talent on a scale, well, few companies on Earth can match. They can really play the long game, endure setbacks, outspend competitors. Okay, now compare that to OpenAI's distinct advantages. These really emphasize their disruptive nature. They have, arguably, unmatched creativity and this ability to capture the public imagination. They showed this by being the first to truly make generative AI feel accessible and exciting, pushing the boundaries of what people even thought was possible with these large language models.
Yeah, they made it mainstream, almost overnight.
Exactly, which leads directly to their crucial first-mover advantage in generative AI. They didn't just join the race, they largely defined the track and set the benchmark. They got immense public attention, solidifying their brand as like the face of cutting-edge AI. And as we discussed, the significant leverage provided by that Microsoft backing is an absolute game changer.
Absolutely critical.
Microsoft isn't just writing checks. They're a strategic partner, deeply integrating OpenAI's tech into their own widely used products. That gives OpenAI a distribution channel that, most startups just wouldn't have access to. It's this symbiotic relationship that really amplifies OpenAI's reach exponentially.
And if we connect this all to the bigger picture, as our sources quite eloquently state, this isn't just another tech war. It's fundamentally about who is going to control the future of knowledge itself.
Yeah.
When you think about it, access to information, how we interact with it, how it's created, how it's consumed, all of this is being profoundly redefined right now. Whether you're searching for facts or generating creative content or maybe doing in-depth research, the underlying AI models from these companies will shape that entire experience. The implications for education, for business, for the very fabric of how we understand the world are just immense. It's truly a race to become the primary interface through which humanity engages with organized information, potentially dictating not just what we learn, but maybe even how we learn it.
Wow, that's a powerful statement. And it really does shift the perspective, doesn't it? So, okay, let's bring it down to earth a bit. What does this all mean for us? The people actually using these technologies every single day. Beyond the boardrooms and the code and, the grand strategic plays, how does this AI war impact you and me directly?
Well, the immediate positive impacts for users are already becoming incredibly clear, I think. We're already seeing faster, much smarter search results, moving beyond just that list of 10 blue links on a page to direct, synthesized answers.
Right, saving time.
Exactly, saving us precious time and effort. We're getting smarter tools that can create emails, documents, code, even designs almost instantly, taking tedious, repetitive tasks off our plates. This translates pretty directly to overall better productivity, right? For students trying to churn out reports, for workers drafting proposals, for businesses looking to streamline operations, it saves valuable time that you can then redirect to more creative or strategic things.
Think about the last time you spent like an hour drafting a tricky email or summarizing some tedious report. Now imagine doing that in literally seconds. It's transformative, right? But, and this is a big but, there's a really important question here. One that our source material thoughtfully poses, and one that, frankly, kept me up thinking a bit. Will this AI war genuinely make our lives easier? Allowing us to offload mundane tasks and focus on what truly matters? Or will it subtly lead to us becoming, well, too dependent on machines? Will we as individuals maybe lose certain skills, perhaps even aspects of our critical thinking if AI is constantly doing the heavy lifting for us? It's a fascinating, really complex dilemma that we as users are going to collectively navigate and ultimately define for ourselves.
Yeah, that raises such a crucial question for all of us, doesn't it? As these AI capabilities become more and more integrated into our daily routines, how do we consciously navigate that balance between embracing the convenience, which is undeniable, and maintaining our own autonomy? The tools are, without doubt, powerful and efficient. They offer shortcuts we couldn't have even imagined just a few years ago, but understanding when to rely on them and when it's better to engage our own cognitive abilities, that's going to be paramount. It's about not just passively consuming the information or the content they produce, but actually critically evaluating it and still actively fostering our own creativity and our own problem-solving skills. That line between assistance and, let's say, over-reliance isn't fixed. It's one we'll all be drawing, individually and collectively, in the years ahead.
It's a future being shaped literally minute by these giants. Google, wants to remain the undisputed king, defending its long-held throne, integrating AI into every corner of its established empire. OpenAI, on the other hand, seems to want to rewrite the rules entirely, fundamentally changing how we interact with technology and how we access and create knowledge itself. This AI war, it feels like it's truly just the beginning. The strategies are evolving constantly, the technologies are advancing at, well, frankly, lightning speed. And the stakes just couldn't be higher for everyone involved, especially for us, the users.
Indeed. And our sources are pretty unequivocal on this point. No matter who ultimately gains the upper hand in this particular battle, one thing is abundantly clear. AI is the future, and this war is shaping its very foundation right now as we speak. The outcomes of this intense competition will have ripple effects across, well, every industry and pretty much every single aspect of our digital and even our personal lives.
So, as these powerful AI tools become more and more embedded in our lives, capable of doing so much for us, maybe the closing thought is this. What are the personal boundaries you might set for how much you rely on them? How do you ensure you stay in the driver's seat of your own intellect and your own creativity? Something to think about as you navigate this rapidly changing digital world. We'll catch you next time on The Deep Dive.